Okay, so MMR is here in Dead by Daylight, or at least it will be at some point in the upcoming months. So in a recent post from the dev team on the Dead by Daylight forums, they have stated that they are making changes to the matchmaking system once again. And upon reading through the changes that they're going for, it seems that they are simply going for an MMR system, or a matchmaking rating system. Effectively, it's a competitive ranking system. It's what Overwatch uses, it's what Smite uses, it's what League of Legends uses, it's what any game with decent matchmaking uses. And obviously, it's not always perfect. You can get some, bad matches in terms of, players matched up. But generally, MMR is a really good way to go about your matchmaking. And so they are going to be adding that in Dead by Daylight. And this is actually a really nice thing to see. As a more competitive player myself, it's nice to see more fairly ranked matches. And what does this mean for your average player? So, it means that you will generally, if you're good at the game, you're going to be against players who are also good. And if you're bad, then obviously you'll be playing against people that aren't going to bully you. So this is designed to get rid of bullying and place people in their appropriate zones, I guess. And it will have lots of good effects. The first thing that I would imagine is a double-edged sword, but at the top tier of play, it's going to put the best killers with the best survivors. And what this is going to mean is that you can really see the balance of the game at its top performance from both sides, instead of seeing, just random placements, best killers going against, somewhat bad survivors, and also the best survivors going against somewhat bad killers. That's not going to be a thing anymore, which means that the game can definitely get a lot more competitive, and that means that the stats that the devs will be getting will be so much more accurate than what they're getting now. Because I've said it time and time again, their stats that they have at the moment mean nothing because of how bad their matchmaking is. So having an accurate rating system would mean that they actually get useful stats, which would allow the devs to make meaningful and appropriate changes to actually fix the game and push it in the direction that it needs to go in. Now, that's what it means for the top tier play, but for lower levels of play and, casual, or just, you're just starting out the game, whatever your situation may be, if you're not at the top, what it's going to mean for you is, although for the first few matches you play it will be a bit random because it's still trying to gather what skill level you are, once you've played a handful of matches, you will generally be placed with people who are about the same skill level as you, which should mean that matches aren't anywhere near as frustrating as they currently would be for you, and also it means you're not, well, at least you shouldn't be steamrolling. Which means, because right now matches are either steamroll or get steamrolled just because of the random nature of matchmaking. So once this is implemented, every match should be a bit more elegant and consistent and less dramatic, so to speak. Now, I've also heard talk about different elos depending on which killer you're queuing as, but where's that? Yeah, here it says here that in the future they'll extend it for each killer. However, when they first launch the MMR system, it won't be like this. They will add that later. So for now, you're better off playing, the way to use this ELO system or MMR system. I say ELO out of habit, but they're basically the same thing. I would suggest when this system goes live, if you want to make the most of it, play weaker killers first. Play Bubba, Bubba's literally the first one that comes to mind. You know what I mean? Just play killers that aren't very good. And then as you play more and more and more, and your MMR goes up and up, then that's when you can start increasing, the tier of killer you play. Because otherwise, if you go into this thing playing, Spirit every match, you will have to play Spirit in order to keep up with the elo you're putting, if that makes sense. Whereas if you play, weak killers like Leatherface or whatever, then you won't overperform as hard. So basically what I'm trying to get at is, use the game's poor killer balance to have the most relaxing experience, and then as matches get harder and harder, that's when you know, choose stronger killers. But anyway, once you get to the top, then your stats should start helping out the devs make meaningful decisions. And I actually really look forward to this. I mean, it's going to make matches horrible because we're going to get Gen Rush to fuck at top tier, but hey, I mean, if it means getting the game fixed, then it's a decent price to pay. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you think this is good or bad. I've seen some people saying that they think this is a really bad thing for the game. But coming from my perspective, I think this is possibly one of the best things that could ever happen to this game. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.